to bring in former Reagan economist Art Laffer. You know, Art, here's the thing. We're looking around the world, Europe and Japan, where you had fertility rates decline. They fell off a cliff. They stopped having babies, and their economies fell off of a cliff. You know, it feels like maybe we're going to avoid that in this country, but it's going to be by the chin of our chinny chin chin, you know, just by hair. How close are we? How important is it that we get back to household formation in this country?
Well, I think it's very important. You know, what household formation is that people are optimistic about the future. They'll have babies. They'll have household formation. They'll do that. If we're going into a depression where there's going to be hardship, people will want to wait until they have enough, and then you'll have babies dropping way off and all that. You know, this is a very good sign, and something you and I should have expected all the way along is once you start getting the boom and once you start getting the prosperities the way back they should be, you're going to find people feeling comfortable about the future, having children, forming households, and that's a very good sign for a society. It's a very good, comfortable, positive sign. Yeah, it's like a growth stock. There's nothing better than a growth stock or a growth country. They're great.
And, you know, but the thing I guess is like that inflection point in the old chicken and egg situation. Do people have to feel better and then make it a self-fulfilling prophecy, or do things have to get better and then folks feel better? Like, you know, or are they happening simultaneously right now?
That's it. You got it. It's a continuous process for both. They feed on each other. It's a very positive, wonderful interaction that goes on there, and it's good news feeding on good news. And unfortunately, there's the death spiral that goes the other way in some of these societies. I mean, look at Japan's population. Look at Japan's stock market. Look at Japan's growth. I mean, it's a terrible descending thing. And what is Abe doing? Nothing. Tax increases. They're going to raise the consumption tax so they can get rid of the last 7 babies in the country. I mean, it's tragic what they're doing. The U.S., under Trump and under Reagan and under Clinton, did great jobs. That was Bill Clinton, by the way. Did great jobs, and we're a growth country, and we're going to be really on top of the pack. It's lovely seeing the U.S. come back.
Real quick, Art, you know, the Atlanta Fed GDP on November 15th was at 0.3. Now we're at 2.3%. And what's made the dramatic reversal has been equipment, consumer spending, residential investment, and net exports. And what I think is intriguing here is that the idea that businesses, maybe we're not going to build factories anymore, but it feels like they're going to be spending a lot of money on intellectual property and buying new equipment for modern-day factories.
You know, I think the way they do their GDP is totally wrong. They use a deconstructionist model. They look at different sections of the economy and try to figure out what each one of those is growing, and then try to add it all together. It's not that way. You should use a holistic approach. Do we have a bad tax system? No, we've got a great one. Do we have a bad spending system? Yeah, pretty bad. Do we have a bad monetary? Not really. Deregulation's the best ever. When you have trade, Trump just came through with trade deals. If you look at the holistic thing, there's nothing out there, Charles, that would tell you that this economy is not going to continue growing for a long time to come. And as you're pulling those people out of the non-work situation into the labor force, if the participation rate rises, you're going to get real wages going up as well. And that will attract more and more people coming in and higher productivity. I mean, we are on one of the virtuous cycles I've ever seen, and it's really positive. And I don't see any end in sight, and I really wish people wouldn't go through all the deconstruction things there and try to add them up. Look at the whole. Great tax policy, great regulatory policy, great trade policy, good monetary policy, and we've got an economy that's going to go as far as the eye can see.
Hey, Art, I may have to bring you on. I may have to bring you on every day, my friend.
Warren, believe me, it won't continue.
I may have to bring you on every day, Art. It's always great. We learn something, and we always feel better about ourselves. Thanks, pal. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Well, thank you. It's great being with you, Charles.
Same here. Hey.